Welcome to Smith Hollow. Smith Hollow is located along the southwest side of the Cumberland Plateau in the Pelham Valley. It is located on private property, so permission is required before visiting the cave. Entrance 2 is located very close to the landowner's house, while Entrance 1, which is the main entrance, is located just a few hundred yards southeast of Entrance 2. This presentation is a special video that Jason Hardy and I have put together for the Tennessee Cave Survey meeting. We will be taking you along a visual cave trip through Smith Hollow Cave while we discuss the survey and exploration. So come along with us and enjoy the trip. So here we are standing at entrance 2 to Smith Hollow Cave, and we're not going to go in this entrance today, and Jason's going to tell you why.
So we're not going in this entrance because it starts off pretty quickly as a swim. It goes for about 300 yards. We're actually going to go in another entrance and swim out this entrance after we've seen the rest of the cave.
So we'll show you this entrance and coming out of it when we exit the cave today, but we're going to go gear up and we're going to go in entrance 1, which is in a sinkhole just a couple of hundred yards from here. So one other thing very important to note about this cave, if there is water coming out of this entrance and actually flowing through this creek bed and going into the other cave over there, which is Smith Hollow Cave NR2, it is not advisable to enter the cave because where we're going, the passages that we discovered will actually be sumped if the water is flowing out of here. So this is a good indication to know if it's a good day to go in this cave.
Yeah, my little friends.
So this cave was first turned in by cavers in 1979 by John Smyer and Jay Cox. Obviously this cave has been long known about since before then because it was located along an old wagon trail. This is the main entrance to the cave, and as soon as we go in, we're almost immediately going to be in the stream passage. So it's just a short little walk down into the sinkhole. And like most tag caves, as soon as you get in that sinkhole, you get the relief from this hot, humid Tennessee summertime air. Oh yeah, there it is. There is that cold blast of air that we all love.
So this entrance was used probably by Native Americans, and then later on down the line it was used by moonshiners, because there's a moonshine still here. And there was a train depot, or the
A wagon trail.
Wagon depot right outside near this entrance because of the water.
So just to show you the remnants here, when there was a moonshine still here, and then obviously there's still a lot of glass. Native artifacts have been found here by the landowners, as well as old pieces of wagons when this was along the wagon trail. So we are down here in entrance 1. When you first come in, the cave splits. Left will take you back to entrance 2, which is the swim out, and we will do later today. But for now, we are going to go upstream and get in some really deep pools of water. A lot of us have on wetsuits because it is a stream cave.
Hey, Buster. Buster, you go home, boo-boo.
These dogs love to come visit the cave. So right now, you start out in about ankle-deep water, but you very quickly start getting deeper and deeper. Now, obviously, in the wintertime, this water is much higher than it is now, but you're essentially going through some pools of water is what's happening here, is it's pooling up. So it's always deep, this section of the cave. So this first section of the cave, there's actually not a lot of side passages. The first one that we're going to come up on is named Alligator Alley because there's a rock that obviously looks like an alligator. We'll show you that when we get there. There is a bat right there. So right up here is one of the most or deepest parts that we go through. And again, this is always has this much water, which makes it a great summertime cave. So we're coming up on what's known as Alligator Alley.
Which is the alligator?
Right there.
Yeah.
Right there. That's what Monica Rosenwald, we call her Moni, Cave Moni. She named this passage that we're coming up called Alligator Alley because obviously that rock looks like an alligator.
Pretty cool.
Now this side passage right here next to Alligator Alley just connects back into the stream. So there's real no reason to go up there. It just goes around and comes back on the other side. Now there is a lot of flowstone in this cave as well that you're gonna see as we go in. So this is where that side passage comes out right here, but it's easier just to stay in the water. So right here is the very first shark's tooth that we actually discovered in this cave. I'm not exactly sure what kind that one is. Now there are a lot of fossils in this cave. There are a lot of shark teeth that are Petalotus sharks, and we'll show you those once we get to those. There's a whole passage with dozens of them. Another really nice flowstone right here, all through here. This is a very, very pretty flowstone formation.
This is my favorite too. I just went underneath it.
Yes, when the water is high, you can actually swim through this passage. It's really cool. Wow. And this water, I'm 5'1", and it's probably about 3 foot deep on me through this section. Some more beautiful flowstone along the walls here. So when we started this cave survey, it was only listed as a 4,500 foot long cave. And the majority of the cave is this stream passage. And again, like I mentioned earlier, there's not a lot of side passages here. There is an upper level that we're gonna get to where we do climb out of the water, but we made our discovery in the very back of this cave. It was a pretty big discovery for me. We ended up finding a blowing lead, and we'll talk more about that once we get there. Really, really large haystack formation over there. This is actually pretty cool how it's been eroded away. Nice big flowstone formation. So there's a lot of little pools in these, the flowstone along the edge here, and a lot of times there's isopods in there, so we're going to look for some of those as well. What did you see?
I've been looking for a Tennessee cave.
Oh, Tennessee cave salamanders, yes. We have also seen those in this cave. Another little crayfish in the cave, pretty small. So we're still following the stream passage. Shortly we're going to come to a climb up where we're going to leave the stream passage and go to an upper level.
833. 33 stations from the entrance.
It's a nice little area up through here that we go through, looking for some more isopods. Okay, so I just spotted an isopod right there. Let's see if we can zoom in. There he is, right there. So there's a lot of those in this cave as well. You can see there's a lot of biological diversity here. Ooh, there's another one over there. He moves it. There he goes. Just to show you, they're in this little thing on this flowstone, this little pool here. Short little section that you can bypass the water. So we are at where we're at the first climb up, and we're going to climb up here and we're going to go to some upper level passages. Now this water passage keeps going. You could certainly continue this way and we'll probably come out this way, but we're going to do a loop. You can climb up here, go see the rest of the cave, and when we come out we can come back this way.
On quad 2, if you look at the map on quad 2, this is going to be your gray shaded area from this point forward for the lower level. And then everything else will be upper level above here.
So we are climbing up here out of the water, and we're going to explore the passages up here and show you a side passage that goes this way, and then we're going to continue on that way. So we've climbed up here into this side passage that has quite a bit of formations in it. So these are pretty cool. Coming out from the surface into this section of the cave. There's one right there coming out of that soda straw. So we just noticed there's another little bat here in this room, right there, showing some of the different formations in here. So now we're going to continue on the main passage. So we were just coming out of that side passage and Jason just saw this really large fossil that's sticking out of the ceiling here. I don't know, it's probably 4 or 5 inches. Robbie, will you put your hand up there for scale? Yeah, so that's a pretty large fossil right there. Pretty cool. Now the Allen box also helped us on this survey, Brent and Nancy. And this is some of the section that they helped survey. Cindy was on that trip with them.
This is Moni's tombstone.
Oh.
Really cool anastomosis in the ceiling right here in this section. There's a really cool fossil in the ceiling up here that's some type of plant fossil. Almost looks like some type of sea kelp. So Jason's going to see if he can light this up for us. There it is, right there. So you can see this right here. This is some type of plant fossil in the ceiling in this section, and it's probably about 4 foot by 3 foot section here, would you say, Jason?
Oh, no, it looks more like it goes.
Oh, actually, yes. Yep, it keeps going this way, actually, so it is quite bigger. So that's a very interesting fossil. There's a lot of cool fossils in this cave.
Right in front of you, like right here. I'm gonna show you.
What am I looking?
Right here, it looks like a fern fossil right here.
Oh, this?
Yeah, there's a line.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm like, I can't see it without the
yeah.
On this side, you can see it better over here.
Yeah, you can actually, it looks like
You
a,
can see more of the detail.
if you think about a fern,
Come over here.
a leaf of a fern, very cool. I don't recall any other cave that I've ever seen anything like this in. Really, really cool. So we are in an upper level passage, just bypassing the stream that is down below us. Probably, how far below down is the stream? 15 feet, Jason?
Probably 20.
20 feet below us is the stream.
But this is where you come up from the stream.
So we just followed this whole upper level passage. This is where it connects back down into the lower stream passage, and we can maybe go out that way and show that to everyone. But for now, we're going to stay up here and keep going. We're coming up on some more fossils here. There's another really cool fossil up here that's probably some type of shark. Right here.
Look at that.
So that's pretty cool too. Lots and lots of cool fossils in this cave. Here's another side passage. We're not going to go in this one today because it just loops around and it's pretty muddy. There's some more cool fossils in there though.
I do remember surveying that one.
Now the lower level passage has an 8-foot waterfall. You probably can't hear it right now, but it's coming up. It's down in the lower level. So also in this passage, we're going to start seeing all of these shark's teeth. Most of them are petalotus shark's teeth. Here's one right here. They are all in the ceiling throughout this section. There's another one there. There's another one there. There's one there. There. One there. They almost look like, that one looks like a little tongue sticking out.
Is that a tooth or a more?
That is a shark's tooth.
Up here where it gets really, that's when we get really.
You can see where it fits in the gum and. This is where you have two different ones.
Yes, there is one other tooth in this section that's a different type of shark.
These come kind of falling. Shark, like a sharper.
Yeah, there's two different species of shark's teeth here. As you can see, there are just dozens and dozens of these amazing petalotus shark teeth in this passage. It's pretty special. There's another one there. Yeah, lots and lots of horn coral as well.
That's that.
A different, not a non-petalotus. Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, that's actually got kind of ribs coming up here and in the teeth.
Yeah, look at that one. Oh, yeah, that's two more right here. There's another one. There's another one. There's four. One, two, three,
8-foot waterfall that goes back down to the lower passage goes down right over there. And we're back in the stream. Oh yeah, that's a Tennessee cave salamander. Right there.
Right here?
So when we were surveying this cave, we had only been here once before. And we had picked it because it's an easy roadside summer cave, wet, and we just thought it would be a great project. Low-hanging fruit. It had not had a survey. Anyways, perfect summertime cave. So on that very last survey trip, we were 241 feet short from getting this cave to a mile in length. And Jason jokingly told me that I better find a blowing lead. Well, on that day, I did. And it's at the very back of this cave. Right here, we're approaching what used to be the previous known end to this cave. There is a 130-foot long flowstone crawl that goes that way to a small little room. And then it goes this way, and it sumps out.
So technically, this was the end of the known cave. The passage goes about 40 feet that way and turns right, and there's a lot of water coming out of underneath a ledge underneath the water. And then right over here was a side lead. And she laid 30 feet of dive line there.
Yeah, you can actually see her dive line that she laid in this passage. Right there. So she went 30 feet into this passage before it was blocked, I guess by breakdown. Is too tight.
Right.
So that was the end of the diving, and for a moment we thought it was going to be the end of the cave. So you used to also not feel any air here. But since we dug it open, this cave blows a lot more air now. So this is that 130-foot long flowstone crawl. And then it comes into this little room right here. Now this room looks like a mess right now because we spent 4 trips digging open the hole over there where Leanne is. So we were on the very last day of survey when I was sitting in this room at the very far corner over there, and I heard a very strange noise. It kind of sounded like water, but I wasn't really sure what it was. So Joe Brown from the DCG was helping us survey that day, and I called him back here and asked him if he heard the noise as well, which he did. And as we were talking and pondering about what the noise could be, I saw my breath literally come out of my mouth and blow sideways. Obviously, I knew that was a good sign. I immediately started looking for a hole, and I found a hole about the size of my fist that was just blasting air. So Jason was laying back up in this passageway that we just crawled through, sketching, and I shouted back to him, "I found a blowing lead." His response to me was, "Shut the up," because he thought I was joking. But I wasn't joking. He had been in this area before, so he didn't believe me. He came back here, he saw it for himself. So over the course of 4 trips, we then came back with the help of others, and we dug this passage open that we're about to go through. Now, we named it Kelly's Mud Spa. It's an extremely muddy passage. You gotta find your 4-year-old self to go into it. It goes for 11 feet, and then it goes up 6 feet and pops into walking borehole again. So I'll show you on the map this little section we're about to go through. It connects another very large section and a huge discovery that we made, and we're gonna go show it to you, including a really large dome room and a 98-foot waterfall. So let's go get muddy. So here's that blowing lead. Listen carefully. Look at those ripples.
They just blow out.
And again, this was a hole the size of my fist, and we dug all of this out. Thankfully, there wasn't a lot of rock, so we didn't have to do any rock modification. It was mostly mud and some soft rock. But it does now permanently stay with water in it. There's just no way to keep clean going through this passage. Just no way at all. That's a good
try to keep that water out of my pack. I'm gonna get out of the way from it. Oh my goodness, it's so muddy. So muddy. It's only 11 feet though.
Yep, it goes for 11 feet, and then we're gonna go up for 6 feet.
Everything's so clean up to this
Thank
point.
you. I just came through the tube, and here comes Jason. Oh, the day that we popped this open, pushed through that last bit of mud and looked up and were able to see ceiling right here, we were so excited. So you come out of that hole and you pop into walking cave again.
And I'm clear.
Wow, that's a lot of wind.
Yes. But that's the beauty of it. We get back in the water. So you get to get cleaned off.
That's good.
So we've obviously created a really nice trail through this area. We tried to be very careful with our impact on the cave, being that this was all virgin cave when we found it. So if you do visit this cave, please stay on the trail. Now this area on the map is called Cave Moni's Playground. So this is where we get, there's a window into the lower stream passage where there was obviously a big collapse here. So you get access to the water again. Yes, so that way ends, and the cave continues on down in this crawlway here, which on the map is called the baggage claim. Because if you have like a Swago pack, you can slide it through that window. You've got to crawl in through here, go through there on your belly. But if you have a small enough pack, you can put it through the baggage claim and pick it up when you come through. Our packs, our land off packs with the barrels won't fit through the baggage claim.
Yeah, go down.
Yeah, just push it, there you go. You'll be able to pick it up on the other side.
This is more like your kind of things on this down here. He's like, this is here.
And thank you for flying with Delta. You can pick up your bags at the bottom of the baggage claim.
Now, remember back at the entrance 2 when I told you if water was coming out and flowing down the creek on the surface, that this area of the cave can flood. This whole passage right here can sump. So again, it's extremely important. If you visit this cave in the wintertime, you check that stream passage, because if there's rain in the forecast and the water's already high, you could most certainly get trapped in this cave. So take that into caution. So it turns into a belly crawl, but then you're going to go straight up into this canyon. The main passage goes straight, but we're going to climb up here in this canyon. I'm going to show y'all something cool. Okay, so we're going to go up in this little canyon passage. It's going to get a little tight and grabby.
feel air.
Oh yeah, this connects to the dome room. But where we're going, we're gonna be about 30 feet above the stream. Up here behind me, we're gonna go up here.
Mine always does.
Right above your head. You got to get up in that little room to see it. Okay. So, here we are. We're in this little room, right? Okay. Right up here above Sonia's head, and I'm going to stand up so we can show you,
Oh man.
is this very unique feature. I'm just going to show you these other ledges. They're really clean washed, okay? There's not a whole lot on them. But when
no gravel like that around
when you stand up and you look at this, there's all of these rocks piled up, right? Let me see if I can get around here. See that depression in the middle? It's like a nest. What would have created this? What would have piled all these rocks up? There's no rocks back there, okay? They're just right here. So what would have created this? A little closer, just so you can see that depression. And there's no hairs or anything like that in it. So I'm curious to know, what are y'all's thoughts? Here's my hand for scale. So it's actually pretty big. It's probably 2 feet by 2 feet across. Okay. So now we've approached what is known as the trap door, which is a really large rock.
We're sitting up here.
It was sitting along this ledge. We could hear the stream water below.
The passage continued this way, but it gets really tight.
About an 8-inch squeeze if you try to go
I
straight.
think
So this big rock right here was sitting a couple inches off the ground here, but we could peek underneath and see. So Jason took a big sledge and bam, bam, and this rock literally just went boop. So that's why we call it the trap door. We're gonna climb around it, and we're gonna be immediately in the stream passage again.
Yep. So, I'll go. I don't even like to touch it. What do we do?
And then you see he's going right behind the door. So that's the trap door. And then it drops us back down in here into the stream passage. Now, again, when the water is high in this cave, this passage can sump all the way to the ceiling. And I know this because we've been here, we've seen it, we've been here during high water, so just take precaution. But this right here can get very, very low.
Amount of airspace now. So, yeah, we came in a couple of times and got sunk. And finally, we made a trip where the sump had broke. There was literally like this much airspace. Our nose had to fit up right here, and her head right through here, and come through.
Just like that. That's how we had to do it. Woohoo! So, yes, so this is the 10 foot, or what's it called on the map? Like a breakdown climb up. So the stream passage is going to end here in about 50 feet. And so we found a way to climb up this crazy looking breakdown.
It just looks scary out that down there, doesn't it?
Yes, it looks very scary. So the stream passage just comes to a dead end right there. So we're going to go up. So we're just climbing up into this dome room that we discovered. So you come up this crazy breakdown climb up and woo! Look at that massive breakdown right there. This is where we came up from. Popped into this big room. It measures about 150 feet long, about 75 feet wide, and just a little over 100 feet tall. There's a 98-foot waterfall over there. And Jason's gonna go light up this formation that we named in honor of Eric Bell. While we were surveying the cave, our friend Eric actually took his own life. And a few weeks after that, we actually discovered this room, and we discovered this large bell formation. And so we named it in honor of Eric because it is massive in stature, just as he was in size. And so we just wanted to honor him in some way. So that is the Eric Bell Formation. So over in this corner of the cave, if you go up there, it actually connects back down into that upper canyon level passage we were in. But we also did another climb, a very short dome climb right here that goes up and then it drops down on the other side just to another little small section of the cave. We left the rope there, but honestly, there's really no reason for anybody to go up there. There's no continuing passage. So just trying to show you all this room here. There's a massive, massive breakdown, which actually worked really well when Robbie did his dome climb, which we'll get him to talk about in a minute. There's a really nice splattermite formation right there. And then we're going to go over there and go down behind this rock and go over to the waterfall and show that to you. So when we discovered this room, we knew we were going to have to do a dome climb. We could tell where the water was coming from, way higher than we can get to. So we called in our good friend Robbie here to assist us with that. And I'm going to let Robbie talk a little bit about what he did in this room with his dome climb.
Yeah, so we started out climbing over here by Eric Bell. There's a little pitch, probably, I don't know, 20, 30 foot, something like that, I think. And we done that on day one and maybe half the climb by the waterfall on the first trip. So we probably got up maybe 50 foot on the other ledge. We come back to a return trip, and I think we was flooded out. Was we sumped out on the second trip?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got a hanger right over here where we kept all our gear in here. And funny enough, I had gear stuck in two caves because me and JP had a project going on at the same time as this one with gear in a cave. So we had gear sumped in this cave, gear sumped in another cave. Made a couple of attempts to come back. Finally, we broke through that little small air space that Kelly was talking about a moment ago, and then continued the pitch to get to the top of the waterfall. Once at the top of the waterfall, there was kind of I guess a plunge pool, if you would, and water just tremendously just roaring through there. I could not take my cow's tail off of the hangers. I was really afraid I was going to get blown off the side of this waterfall. Of course, the water kind of subsided, maybe 10 foot on into the passage, and that's where we ended the second day of climbing. And at that time I had Jason Hardy belaying me. So we got to the top of the waterfall. We rigged a primary rope so we could climb back up and do the traverse to the other side of the waterfall. I think me and Dutch Sanders worked that, and then and Jason Hardy. So we had the three of us working on that one. So once on top of the waterfall, we traversed over to the other side. There's just a huge lead over there that hopefully the video will show. And once up there, we rigged some permanent anchors and threw a primary rope down, and that's what's left today.
So at the top of the dome climbs on both sides, how did it end?
On the left side where the waterfall is coming off, it ended about 200 feet in and had ended in breakdown. It looks like there was a major collapse up top, and there's no penetrable way through as of right now. The right lead that doesn't have any water, where the primary rope that Robbie was talking about is hanging, it actually is a little bit more stable breakdown. There's a lot of air coming through, and it looks like there's possibility that, if somebody wants to dig.
Well, we actually do have a dig on the surface, right?
We do. We have a dig. We did a dye trace, and we actually have dye traced this waterfall and the water in this cave to some leads up on the surface that we are still digging on right now, as of right now, with tremendous air. But they're wet leads, and we have to wait for the water to kind of die down. So.
Right. All right, so let's go down here, and you can see them lighting up the waterfall there behind us. We're going to go down there, and hopefully we can light it up for you guys and show it pretty good, so where you can see the water is actually low today. So let's go down there and check it out. Look at this waterfall, y'all. Obviously in the winter months it's pumping a lot more water, but Robbie climbed all the way up there, which that passage shut down. He then traversed out across and went into this other lead that's up here that I'll show you in just a second. So the other lead is up there. I don't know if you can see in the video, but we've got the rope that comes down, and we've got it tied out of the way there. We've got a lead on the surface, so maybe this cave will continue to be pushed and we'll get some more footage out of it. So the landowners were so excited when we found this waterfall. They were just as excited as we are, because they've lived here a very long time. It was a huge discovery, so much so that they wanted to come in here and see it. And I led a trip in here and got some really good photos of the landowner right here admiring this newly discovered waterfall in the cave in his backyard. So now we're going to start making our way out of the cave, and we're going to go down to the lower level water passage. We'll show you that on the way out. And then once we get to entrance 2, then we're gonna do the swim out through the other entrance. So we've made it back over here. We came in this way, this higher upper passage, and now we're gonna go out the lower water passage and show that to y'all. So this is the lower passage that you can take. There's a little bit of crawling through here. Pretty crazy looking blades. Yeah. And we are back to our climb up. So we did a little loop there by taking you through the upper passage and then to the big room and back around. So we've made it back to the main entrance, entrance 1, which is right there.
And we're gonna keep going downstream, and we're gonna do the swim passage and come out entrance 2. Now, if you have a flotation device such as a Swago or a pack with a barrel, you could certainly use that. But I'm gonna use my life vest right there.
This is where we get wet.
We gonna swim?
Now we gotta go through this little right through that.
Deep. It's probably 14, 15 feet deep water here. Oh, Jesus. Lord have mercy. Bite muffin.
I'm swimming.
This cove.
Okay, it's deep again.
Deep.
I'm swimming again.
I just can't move fast. I'm one-handed here.
There's a frog in this pothole.
There's a frog right there. Oh. Is this the one? Another low spot. Maybe you kind of hold on here. I don't got no bottom yet. Oh yeah.
The low spot will not go up to the bottom.
You'll see. That's the low spot. Yeah, those roots are pretty cool.
Okay, man, I'm swimming still.
Go ahead.
We're going to swim like this, but you can't take the wall.
Exit. Entrance 2. That was awesome. I love to swim out fire.
Yeah, I just want to say, hope y'all enjoyed Smith Hollow. This is a great cave. We made a nice map for everyone to check out, and see y'all at TCS meeting.